While we talk sometimes about billionaires here on this channel, some people took a step forward and moved to trillionaires. Well, we don't have one yet, but it seems like someone is about to become one very soon. The Confederation of Oxfam predicts that if their wealth keeps growing as it has been for the last couple of years, one of these two people will become the world's first trillionaire in the next 25 years. That's not surprising news, considering that he made $28 billion in 2018. What else can you expect from a man who has his newspaper and a rocket company to live the earth in case if we decide to destroy each other? However, my dear friend, let's do something different in this video and talk about you and me. Where are we on this wealth equation? How rich we really are? Do we even stand a chance to join the top 1%? I have some good and bad news. The good one is, you might be in the top 1%, but you haven't realized that yet, because the bad news is, this 1% doesn't really have as much influence in the world as people think. Let me explain. If you have a net worth of at least $10,000, you are literally wealthier than 70% of all the adults around the world. Even if you work at McDonald's and make just enough to survive, you are already considered to be at the top 30% of wealthiest people in the world. Unfortunately, 3.5 billion adults don't even have a net worth that exceeds $10,000. In fact, the bottom 70% controls less than 3% of the total global wealth. That sounds bad, but that's the world we live in. If you live in the United States or any other first world country, you probably own a car, a smartphone, maybe an iPhone, and a bunch of other things that raises your net worth to something between $10,000 to $100,000. Congratulations, you're officially in the top 30%. Of course, life isn't great at this bracket, but you're making ends meet. And if we take your wealth and over 1 billion people, or the 21.3% of adults who have a net worth of $10,000 to $100,000, your total wealth will only amount to less than 20% of the global wealth. Remember, at this stage, you don't even own a house, because if you do, you are in the top 8%. You are richer than 92% of the world if your net worth exceeds at least $100,000. Out of 5 billion adults, only a small fraction of less than 400 million are in this category. You're not really rich at this point, but you are certainly in the middle class. You have a good job and can afford to go for a vacation, maybe once a year. Isn't that enough? Because if you're wealthier than that, then you are definitely in the top 1%. According to Credit Suisse, if everything you own equals to at least $1 million, then you are in the top 0.7%. It might seem like they are super rich and powerful individuals, but they are not. They're just good lawyers, doctors, or engineers who make $100,000 to $300,000 a year. You might be one of them, or at least you know someone who makes that much of money. These people are rich, but not to the point where they can even afford a private jet, because if you can, you are in the top 0.01%, with an average annual income of $31.6 million. The cheapest private jet is about $5 million, and maintaining it will cost you at least $500,000 a year. So you can't afford one if you're not in the top 0.01%. The people that you see on the Forbes list, people that control most powerful corporations in the world, or billionaires in general, are in the top 0.00024%. They either earned that by themselves or inherited that, but in general, they don't really know what to do with all of that money. So getting to the top 1% isn't as difficult as it seems. You don't even have to start your own business. Just by working a little harder than the rest of your colleagues, you will most probably join the 1%. The challenging part is to join 0.01% or the 0.00001%. Anyways, if you have enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I thought it would be interesting to share with you these numbers. Make sure that you hit that bell button so that the next video will appear on your homepage. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.